Hey guys, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Derek,
and we are the Hart Twins. So I know it's been a while since we did a YouTube video, but as you can see, we just had a lot going on. We're shooting For the Love of DILFS Season 2, and as you know, I'm out the mansion. It's tragic, but she's still in the competition, so keep watching. Must be nice. But, life really has been life, and I feel like we always say that, but it's really true. We just got a lot going on, and all I can say is I'm grateful for the journey. Grateful, blessed, yeah, same thing. I'm just happy for what 2024 has in store for us. This is literally just the beginning. I wanted to talk about my experience going on the show, and I want to take it back a long journey.
From the very beginning.
Where it all started. It was this time last year, we were in London with our best friends, Ian and Jeremy, and I will never forget, we was traveling while we was in London. We was going to Paris,
Amsterdam,
Italy, Frankfurt, Germany, and
Switzerland.
We
did go to Switzerland, Daniel.
You sure?
Yes. I remember because the buses, we was in there for a good minute. But
anyway, we was traveling for a long time, and I remember when we came back to London, it was the last day to submit our casting audition for the Love of DILFS Season 2. And Derek was so tired, fucking bitch.
It was a long, how many days? 5 days of traveling. We finally got back to the Airbnb that we were staying at in London. We got back at night too, by the way. So you think I'm gonna really submit an audition video at night? I'm tired.
Opportunities.
True, but I didn't have the
Tomorrow is not promised.
That is true, but there's this thing called faith, and I believe in faith. So we took a chance the next day, and so say it, so be it. And that was a quick audition that we did. We submitted it, and
I think it was 1 or 2 takes that we did, actually. And I remember I told Derek, because we didn't know if it was like...
Hold that thought, I'm eating, but go ahead.
I didn't know. We didn't know what it was. We just took a chance and said, you know what? Let's both be in this casting audition and see what happens. Now, I'll never forget, I was like, I hope they still, you know, contact us, because it's only one person they were saying. So for us to just take a chance and be like, let's do
together. That was the thing. We did the audition tape together. So I was like, let's just be ourselves, say what we're looking for in a guy, and just let it flow naturally. And we did just that.
Hey guys, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Derek.
And we are the Hart Twins. We're just two himbos from Brooklyn, New York, 32 years old. And we're just trying to find love in the gay world. It's hard because we be on dating apps such as Hinge, Scruff, Grindr, Jack. And honestly, some guys on there are looking for fun. Don't get me wrong, me too.
Me too.
Okay, but at the same time, we're also looking for love. Because we're just at that place in our life where it's like, okay, I want to settle down with my one man. Like, come on now. You get your own.
I sure will.
And I'll get my own too. Yes. So our purpose on this dating show is to find love. I want to be able to find my own love, and I'm hoping Derek will be able to find his own love, because at the end of the day, we both need love. We're twins. We're cute, and we try to keep it cute.
Always keep it cute.
But at the end of the day, we are looking for our Prince Charming. So I'm hoping
Aladdin.
This experience, we find our love. Pretty much what you see in that casting audition is what you get right here. So it was like, okay, it comes natural, basically.
We literally feed off each other. It's a twin thing, I guess. But
when he finished talking, I'm gonna talk, and
like now,
vice versa. Go ahead and eat, since you want to eat so bad.
I am. But go ahead.
She's so damn hungry. Anyway,
back to the audition.
So, wait, hold on. I remember I finished for real. Go ahead and fucking eat. We finished basically the audition tape and we were both confident like, okay, we like how this comes out. Let's go ahead and send it. So I remember I was sending it and it kept giving me an error message. I was like, don't do this to me, please. So my friend...
Of course it would do that too. And I was so mad too. I was like, Danielle, all this...
all this work that I'm doing, and you want to get mad, huh?
I wasn't getting mad, but you would think he's the IT one. He would know what to do.
I am the tech savvy one. You would think he at least help a bitch. But anyway,
I show up and show out.
That's all you can do, huh? Anyway, I remember saying to Ian, hey, can I, borrow your phone so that way I could send off this video? And homegirl was giving me the look like, what's the video about? What is it? And I'm looking like I didn't want no one to know. I just said, it's a video, a little something, something. So I had to send it to his Dropbox and for him to send it out to the email that the casting people had, basically. So I remember I said to him like 2, 3, 4 times, did it go through? Did it go through? And he said, yes, it's sent, Daniel, it's sent. And all I kept thinking is, I'm gonna leave it in God's hands. He said it went through, and we just gonna leave it at that. So,
and I'll never forget too, once we sent it off, we was like, oh, all right, well, if they contact us, cool. If they don't, that's cool too. We wasn't really like tripping about it, because life goes on.
Yeah, exactly.
But
2 months later, we got an email saying, hey, we looked at your casting audition for the Love of DILFS Season 2 and was wondering if you're still interested in being part of the show. And I was like, wait a minute, that was supposed to be just for fun. Like, they really contacted us like, oh,
they really
shit.
want a bitch or two?
Now we definitely gotta move forward, so let's make it happen. And I remember they said, are you available to shoot for 2 weeks in July? And I was like, okay, I am. I remember just putting in my...
What was drama with my job?
You want to talk about it, baby?
I do.
Hurry up and swallow the fucking food.
Sorry. One thing about me,
Hurry up.
I take my food very serious. But back to my job. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be casted for our first show. And I told my manager, I actually told her the truth about it. She was cool with it, but then when it came time to film, it became a problem. I'm not going to get into details about it, but just know that I went with my dream.
You followed your
yes,
dreams.
I followed. Went with it, follow it. I did.
Use better words.
I followed my dream, and here we are, basically. So I'm grateful for that opportunity, and I don't regret it at all. I feel like we did our big one with the show, and it's only up from here.
And I'm glad you went and followed your dreams and pursued this opportunity. Fast forward to my first time going into the mansion.
What was your thoughts? Because, baby, we did go in together. We did the photo shoot first, but to actually film without me, what was your reaction?
We did the promo shoot first, basically. Oh, you eating that chicken?
Sorry, guys.
But anyway, we did the promo shoot first, me and Derek, and then that was it. And I will never forget after that, remember we went to Ichiban restaurant? It's a Japanese restaurant. We was so hungry, so we pretty much pigged out. And then we went back home. Derek stayed home. I said, okay, I'm going. I went to DILF Mansion, which was right here in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, thank God.
A blessing. I got picked up by an Uber from the producers. So as soon as I walked into the DILF Mansion, I was like, oh wow, this is beautiful. And I remember the producer guiding me to my room, and I opened up the door to the room that I was gonna be in, and I seen Marquise, Nick, and Aaron. And I was like, oh, okay, this is like, I'm actually meeting one of the people that...
A few of the people.
A few of the people that...
Get your words together, too.
A few of the people that I will be, on the show with. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so exciting. And I will never forget, I was on my bed after getting to know them, like, oh, nice, you know. Everybody's saying, like, where you from and all of that. I just was chilling on my bed and I was scrolling on my phone, like, responding to messages, catching up on IG. And then in walks Rico. And I was like, oh, okay, nice chocolate thing. And then he started speaking. I was like, oh, he's Spanish, Afro-Latino. So I was like, okay, he's cute. So I remember I gave him a hug. He sat on the bed next to mine. And we were chopping it up. And a few minutes later, as time progressed, I noticed that Aaron and Nick, they just kept talking back and forth, feeding off of each other. Good conversation. But then I started to realize, okay, it's about 12:58 going on 1 o'clock. I'm kind of tired. How long they gonna keep talking? But I would never forget, and that's why I loved Rico for this. I'm scrolling, and it's probably like 1:15, and I looked at Rico, giving him the look like, they still gonna keep this up? I didn't even say nothing, and he looked at me doing, giving me the look too, and I was like, okay, how do you tell people are giving that look? How do you tell people, I kind of want to go to sleep, so you know, if y'all could take it down a notch, because I didn't know them, so I didn't know how to approach this, but I just was in my zone, like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to sleep, and then they ended up, you know, wrapping it up too. So fast forward to the next day, we did the first scene where everybody is doing their introduction and whatnot, and I remember that took like 10 takes, but it wasn't bad. It was just too hot, honestly.
I saw you sweating too.
Girl, the hair, I was trying to keep the hair from, what is the word called when you sweating out your hair?
Frizzy?
Yes, frizzy. I was trying to prevent it from being frizzy because once it touched my neck, that's when it's gonna get wet too. But anyway, it was Derek's turn to come in. So I was looking at them like, I want to know how they're going to feel if they see two of me. And when Derek came in, they was like, oh shit, it's two of them.
Fun fact, sorry to cut you.
It's okay.
They had me in a room for, I don't remember how long. It was probably an hour or 2 hours. I really don't remember, but I remember crew was so sweet. They brought me food a couple of times, well, quite a few times. I didn't finish it because I was so nervous to go on set. I had little bits and pieces of the food because I was like, I'm going to show a little bit of body and I don't want to be too bloated, you know, in my first scene. I actually did some push-ups while I was in the room too. I had to work on the breastises.
The double cheeseburgers.
So when it was my turn to go, I finally saw the cast and I saw the guy that, you know, I picked. I was like, oh, he's handsome. My heart was beating fast, like, okay, it's a lot right now because I wasn't expecting all eyes to be on me right away. And to see Anthony, I was like, oh, okay, Tats. He definitely caught my eye. But my first scene, I really liked it. It was cute. I do feel bad for dismissing Kane like that because I did choose him as well. But Anthony caught my eye, and I felt bad in the moment because I was like, sorry, Kane, but we're still cool to this day, man. Kane, he's a sweetheart. What is your favorite moment with your daddy and your favorite moment with me? Or with anybody else with the cast? I know we had several moments.
It's so much, but I do, the moments we shared together when we were filming, the scene where we were both talking about our daddies. I forgot about that scene, and when we were watching it, I was like, oh my god, we are a hot mess. I kid you not. Looking at us, because I remember I caught myself saying, my PhD, I love him. No, wait, I know.
Mind you, just like Danny, I forgot that whole
conversation.
Literally, so when we were watching it,
we was cracking up.
I was like, oh my god, we a hot mess. You can't take us nowhere.
But that's just how we are, literally. That's how our personalities are.
I immediately heard when Daniel said, I love him. So my initial reaction was, oh!
And I caught myself too saying, oh, wait, I know. Did I just say that?
You saying you love him?
But that was my favorite scene.
That was my favorite scene with the both of us because That's literally us.
There was a moment that it didn't get aired, and I didn't think it would anyway, where I was sleeping in the room. I sleep like a mummy, so I have my covers wrapped up on me, and somebody brought the covers down, and I'm looking like, who the hell is this? So I'm trying to focus in on who this is, and then I realized it was Ed. So
Some exclusive.
exclusive. So he came over and he gave me a hug and a kiss on my forehead, saying I just wanted to say goodnight. And I remember he had laid down on me for a good minute or two, and I was just holding him too, going back to sleep. And then, girl, and then he got up and gave me a kiss one more time on my forehead, saying, I'm gonna go to bed, good night. And I said, good night. And I kissed him back, and then I put the covers right back on top. Then I remember saying, what the fuck time is it? I looked at my phone, I was like, shit, it's 1:30. So I remember texting Derek saying, Ed just did the cutest thing, but Derek, his bed was across from me and it was dark, so I couldn't really see him. So I was like, child, I'm not gonna even focus in to see if he's up. Let me just send him this text of what just took place, so that way I won't forget it the next day.
I actually didn't see or hear anything, thank God. When I go to sleep, I go to sleep. I don't, no disturbance. So I didn't hear any of that. So that was cute to hear that that took place.
I felt like he must have just finished doing his confession or something, and
He wanted to say a kiss goodnight. Oh, daddy. Wish my daddy did that.
Okay.
Just kidding.
But anyway, that was a nice moment I had too that I would never forget, because I thought that was so sweet. Like, he didn't have to do that, and he did that. And just the moments with the cast too. I will never forget the first episode when we was in the bed twerking, and I started just jumping up. I was like, girl, they said twerk. Why am I jumping up like a damn kid? But I was just so
She was happy.
I was excited, so I didn't know what to do. What's my favorite moment? What's yours?
My my favorite moment was with us. That scene. I also loved the scene with Anthony and I, the date. It definitely showed my personality and my opinion. I like to have good vibes and good energy, and with a little hint of goofiness. We can't always be serious on a date. Who wants to be serious all the time? And not to mention, that was a very different date for me. I never did anything like that on a date, so
Karate chop.
I
You
definitely
wanted to learn how to do a hiya?
Hi y'all, I sure did, and I really liked it. So I will say that was one of my favorite scenes.
Not to mention the instructor.
I wasn't expecting that. I was tired because it was hot and I was busting a sweat. And he punched and I'm like, all right, sir. Jesus. But overall, that was one of my favorite scenes in the show.
The scene that I didn't really like was obviously my elimination, when I was basically voted off the mansion. Fun fact, when I woke up that day, what no one don't know is I felt something in my stomach.
Energy.
And my intuition was telling me something, like, you know when you feel something, it's telling you something and you're stuck.
Intuition.
You're stuck with it literally all day, like, I feel something, I don't know what it is. Now I'll never forget when we shot the scene with Derek and the whole situation with Hazel and Marcus. I remember Derek was crying, and I didn't even have to look at Derek to know he was crying. I started crying. I wasn't even supposed to be in that scene. I remember Hazel asked one of the producers, can Daniel join us in this scene? And
This is episode 6, by the way.
yeah, and then Hazel came over to me while I was just chilling. He said, hey babes, you're gonna be in this scene with me, Derek, and Marcus. And I was like, okay. I didn't even know. Usually I'm prepared, like, okay, we're about to shoot a scene. So I didn't know what it was, and I said, okay, what are we gonna talk about? And he said, I can't tell you, but I just really need you in the scene. I was like, okay.
I actually was very blinded by this scene, because I remember before we even got on set, Hazel came up to me saying, I love you. I said, I love you too. What's up? And he was like, we're about to do a scene, but just know that I love you. And I was like a little on guard because I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, I'm so confused. But in the scene, I was clearly upset finding out the news with what happened with Anthony. And that wasn't my favorite scene either. I wish that scene never existed. But
Yeah, I wish it never did existed either. I just feel like if Anthony would have stayed in the room that day when we were all together, none of that would have happened. Like, none of it
But
would
you
have
live
been
and you
created.
learn. You
But you
see-
know, everything happens for a reason. So I just feel like as long as you're a good person, you're doing your due diligence and who you are, that's all that matters. And I feel like at the end of the day, in that moment, it showed our twin moment because it showed Derek crying and I'm crying. People probably was like, well, why is he crying? If he hurt, I hurt. Of course, I'm going to feel his pain. So, I mean, I'm glad that we were able to showcase what twins are like and how we both feel.
I wasn't expecting on crying.
I wasn't
Like, I
expecting
was-
to cry either because I was like, I'm coming up in here. We're going to have fun, make the most of it because we're mostly jolly and we like to have fun. So it took a lot for us to, you know, cry. And
Sometimes I had to pinch myself and realize.
not a lot. It takes a lot sometimes, like when our feelings hurt. Sorry.
It's, what was I gonna say?
Sometimes I have to pinch myself and what?
Yes, I had to pinch myself because I realized, girl, you've known this man, what, a few days? But it's hard to explain because you're in a mansion with this person all day, 24/7, every day. You start to catch some type of feelings. We're all human, so of course, you like someone, you're gonna be like, that's my man, that's my baby, we all up on each other, we kissing. And then to find some news out, it's like, wait a minute, my feelings are very real. So for you to tell me this information, I'm like, am I being played? Like, hold up, what's going on? So overall, I don't regret that scene. I do wish it didn't happen, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. I actually saw him for who he was, and that's it.
It is what it is. I always say too, eventually over time people will show you their true colors. Like, and I always say, like, I pray about it, like, please show me people for who they are, and he will.
Yes.
But that brings me on to another scene where it was, that's what I'm talking about too, with the whole gut feeling. And I was like, okay, I needed to be by myself. And I will never forget, we had dinner afterwards, and Derek was sitting with the cast. And I looked over and I was like, I don't really want to sit with anyone because I'm still in my mood. Like, I feel something. And he was like, well, I'm going to sit here. I said, okay, you could do that. Let me go ahead and be by myself.
Who said that?
You wanted to eat.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm going to be by myself. Anyway, but I remember eating by myself. And then afterwards, they said, we're going to do elimination. And I was like, ugh. I'm still feeling it. But before that, I remember calling my mother and telling her something is itching me. Like, I feel something and I don't know how to explain it. And she was like, well, Dana, don't be in your head or anything. Don't get too overthinking. And I was like, maybe that's what it is. And I just started crying with her because normally, you know, you're the crier between us. And I don't like to cry. So I was just crying and she wasn't used to that either. So she was like, Dana, just, you know.
You cried to her when you were speaking?
I did.
I didn't know that.
I thought I told you. I said I called her and then
you cried?
I started crying.
I didn't know.
Like, it was out of nowhere and I just told her, I don't know, I just feel something. And she was like, don't worry, just hang in, do your thing. And
And I like that about us. Like, we're very in tune with things. He was very more in tune that day. I'm very in tune as well, but I didn't have that feeling in me. Like, I felt sad, very sad that day, but I just didn't feel like I was going home. And for him to have that feeling, and when it did happen, oh, child, baby, a bitch was going through it that day. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, I just heard this news with Anthony. I'm sad. And then to see my brother being eliminated, I was literally looking, I think I was crying before him.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like, oh my God, this isn't supposed to happen.
but before that, I remember I was like, okay, it's elimination. If we go, let me make sure I go out in style. I wanted to look like, you know, a little Michael Jackson mixed with Prince and Alicia Keys with the braids. I said, I want to switch it up. I felt like, in my opinion, that was cute. So
Same. I actually thought I was going home because it was a lot going on. Anthony basically created something, and it was just all eyes was on all of us, basically.
yeah, it
And
put a target
on us.
basically. But
And
anyway,
I wore all red because I was like, well, bitch, I'm going to be the lady in red, and let me go out in fashion too. So,
but I'll never forget when Barry and Marcus came on, and they said, this is the couple that we feel is our biggest threat, and we are eliminating Edwin and Daniel. And I just remember taking a deep sigh, like, because I was looking at them and I was waiting for them, like, who are y'all gonna eliminate? Hurry up and say it. Then they looked at me and said Edwin and Daniel. I was like, oh, damn.
that was the worst. I was like, wow. I was so blindsided for that too. I was like, what?
I was blindsided too, because I was like, wait a minute. We was just cool. We was talking. And I just was shocked because I do remember saying to Marcus, please don't vote Derek off because he went through a lot today. So I just, you know, I'm looking out for my brother. That's all I said. Please don't vote him off. He went through a lot today and I just would hate to see him go, you know?
That didn't mean.
That didn't mean for you to vote me
him
off.
It's like,
So I was shocked that
girl, what?
he ended up doing that. So I was like, what the hell? We was just kikiing yesterday and we was cool. So I was like, whatever. But Ed was going back and forth with Barry, like, how could you do this to me? And they were friends prior to this. So I didn't have nothing to say, honestly, because I was literally lost for words. I came in there thinking, okay, I got this, all confident with him. And I'm like, we got this in the bag. So this took a turn from my plan, thinking like, damn, I ain't gonna win no more, so that means I'm leaving. So it didn't hit me literally until we got into the mansion. I remember I was still crying, like I was sobbing a lot. And it's been years since we cried.
I don't like crying because like we said, we like to be in high spirits, good energy. It takes a lot for me to cry. If I'm crying, that's because something
Really
deep
got
is
to me.
happening, or it's
And like what I'm talking about, you see, intuition, something was telling me something, and I knew it. I was like, as soon as he will show you why you feel this way, and I knew something was gonna happen, and that took place. And I was like, wow, damn, so I guess that's it. But I honestly do not have any ill will towards anyone. I feel like we did our thing. People play the game how they want to play it. That's all it is, you know?
I felt like we stayed true to ourselves, and we still just wanted to spread good energy and good vibes.
Yeah.
And I feel like I hope that's what we did. I feel like Daniel went out with grace, so that
Girl,
was
she
cute.
went out with style, grace,
She
elegance.
did. She
A
really
woman.
did. It was
Let
cute.
me be your woman. Woman, woman, woman. Let me be your woman.
And I feel like he did. It actually made me tear up again because I never saw Daniel's exit.
Yeah.
So when I watched it again, I got emotional because I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. I remember that moment because they said Daniel's going to do his exit. And I was just standing in the mansion with Hazel, just chilling. And I was still sad because I'm like, oh my God, I'm really gonna be without my twin.
And I remember telling him, girl, you gonna do your own hair now? Because
Fun fact, I used to do
I would
my
do his hair every damn day. I told him, you gonna learn how to do your hair. And I told him, please just give it. Because I know Derek is shy. And he literally tends to be a little reserved. Whereas I'm the one
I'm
that...
more chill compared to Daniel. Daniel is definitely the... But I
let it be known.
I could bring it out too, but I like my chill zen type of vibe. But overall, I feel like we did our big one. I feel like you definitely did your big one too.
I had fun. Like I said, I would, if given the chance to do that all over again, hell yeah, I would do it
again too.
But I would definitely keep my eye open, like,
I wouldn't be so trusting.
yeah.
Especially with the daddies too. sip that too.
Okay.
But
Overall, that was just basically our experience on my experience on For the Love of DILFS. Please continue watching For the Love of DILFS Season 2 on Out TV.
she's still on there, so who knows? I may win or I may not, but please, you never know, so keep watching.
Keep streaming. So
The drama continues, the plot thickens, it gets really chaotic.
and stay tuned, because, you know, just stay tuned. You know.
Thank you guys for tuning into our video.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.